Welcome to another episode of SureShade University, where today we're going to be talking about shore power, silent glide, controller, initialization, and possible encoder failure. How to identify it and what to look for. Okay, so normally what you're going to do is you're going to initialize your controller and look for your blinks. We should get, this being a 5-footer, we should get 5 greens, which we did. 1 yellow being silent glide, and now 3 reds. If at this stage you saw 2 yellows, you would know that that control box is programmed to work on legacy actuators and not silent glide actuators. So you need to stop at that point because it will not work with the silent glides. Okay? So we're getting our 3 reds. Next step in the process of initialization is to take your starboard actuator, or in this case our motor, hook it up to the green control lead. The controller is now going to ping the motor and encoder, and if it gets the signals back, it should turn out 2 of the 3 red flashes, which it did. So now we're getting our 1 red. The next step would be to hook up our port encoder, or port motor, and if it likes what it sees, it should turn out the other 1 flash. But in this case, it didn't. So you would not proceed to trying to run the actuators. If you did at this point and you hit extend, you're going to have 1 actuator go out, the other one's going to stay put. Now you're going to have a racked shade. Okay? So if you have this situation, don't proceed. Stop. So now what I normally do in this case is we're going to take this connection back out, and we're going to look down in here and make sure that all of our pins are in place, which in this case they are. Make sure our connections here are nice and tight. Okay, and then what I do is I'm going to unplug the starboard connector, and let's see if we go back to 3 reds. Okay, so now we'll go back to 3 reds. Now what I want to do is I want to verify, is it my actuator or harness, or is it my control box? So now what you can do is we believe that the starboard side is good. So now what you can do is you can take the starboard actuator harness, plug it into the port control lead. The control box doesn't know which actuator you're actually plugging in. So all it's looking for is to receive the signal that it sends back. If everything works out, this being plugged into the center channel or the port should turn off 1 of the 2 reds, which it did. See how now we're getting 2 reds. So that verified that our controller is good, and most likely our starboard actuator side is good. So now what we can do to verify that again is power down everything, give the box a couple seconds, plug this back in, wait for you to get your 5 greens, 1 yellow, and 3 reds. Okay, now again, next step would be to hook up your starboard to green, but now what I want you to do is I want you to hook up the starboard to the orange. See if you lose 1 of the 3 flashes, which we did. Okay, now we're going to plug the port into the green, and if all things being equal, we should still have 2 because it's not recognizing that. Okay, so in this case, we verified that we have a possible bad encoder or motor on the port side. So now what you do is give us a call. We need the year, make, model, and hull identification number, and then we would send you out a new motor and encoder so that you can replace it in that actuator. That's pretty much it. That's how you can tell if you have a bad encoder the quickest way. And just remember, if you run into this, guys, please don't try and extend the actuators. If the box is telling you got a bad side, you're just going to wind up with a rack shade. So give us a call. We'll take care of it. Thanks, and have a good day.